Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Matts and a Jeff podcast. We're just some middle-aged guys talking sports, and we're here today. I'm Matt Moyer, Jeff Moyer, and Matt Bannon, and today we're going to break down our all-time best and worst NBA uniforms of all times. So we're getting our fashion on again, and thinking and looking through some of the best and worst uniforms of all time. So I'm going to get started with my worst list. So my number 5 worst NBA uniform of all time is the Pistons from 96 and 97. And then as if it wasn't bad enough, they brought it back again in 2000, 2001. And, poor Grant Hill had to wear this. You can see this if you're watching. And both colors are god-awful. It's got a pony on it. It's got there's like a turquoise kind of color for, I don't know which one's home and which one's away.
I think both, the bluish is home and the reddish is
yeah, it's like a reddish, goldish. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. And the only thing I can see on it that is remotely Detroit is the tailpipes coming out. But what the horse has to do with Detroit, I don't know. It is awful. And this color scheme must have been popular in the 90s.
I just thought of something. Horsepower, maybe. But that's a stretch.
That's a stretch, but it's probably stretch.
When you have to think that much about it, it's a bad uniform,
I guess
gang.
They make you
It's
think
bad.
about it. I guess that's why. Well, I'm assuming that they come out with that when Grant Hill's, did they have that uniform be right before he got drafted? I don't know either. I'm wondering if that's why they
what was the first year, Matt, that you said?
It would have been 96, 97. So he would have been. He would have been in the league a couple of years at that point.
Maybe they just weren't doing well. I don't know.
Again, some guys are sitting in a room and they take the classic Detroit color scheme and say, "Throw that out. Let's do this." And I know that's going to sell jerseys for you, but I mean, anyone who still has one of those, it's hanging way in the back of your closet.
You're not wearing that every day.
I don't think so.
Not even to the game when you're going to the Detroit game. Am I up or you?
Yep, you're up. Go ahead.
All right. So my 5th worst NBA uniform is the Pistons, the exact thing. So the exhaust pipes maybe, but not the stallion is the way I wrote. And I wrote teal is home and red is away. So we're not going to expound on that. Matt said it all.
Well, my number 5, and some of you may not, if you're younger, may not know that it's the Washington Bullets, from the 74 to 87, red, white, and blue, but just not a whole lot there.
The home was mostly white, red and blue, whatever. Yes. And it had the 2 L's came up together with 2 hands or whatever.
Yes.
This is superior knowledge you have, Matt Bannon.
Well, you'll see why.
See, he was a basketball person there before we were doing basketball.
Well, that's before most people were listening and watching this time.
So anyway,
and they wouldn't know the Bullets because they were like, "Oh, what are they?"
Washington Bullets. There you go.
So my number 4, I can't seem to locate the picture right now, was the Mavericks 03-04. It was an alternate. It was a copper color, I guess. Yeah. And poor Dirk Nowitzki had to wear this god-awful looking thing. I don't know what you're thinking with that color, because it has nothing to do with their regular color scheme, which is pretty nice. Blue and green looks pretty good together.
But what's it have to do with Dallas?
Nothing.
That's what I mean. It's not like gold, like it would be, or copper. I mean, do they mine copper? That'd be like Nevada, wouldn't it? Copper mines or something. I don't know either. And they're all shiny too.
Yes,
I did see it.
A shiny, shimmery.
I didn't even remember them wearing it either.
Satiny, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it wore it for 1 year and then they came to their senses. But
thank God for Dirk.
Yeah.
My number 4 is let's see what happens here. Mine is the Raptors from 95 to 99. The purple with the red T-Rex. It looks more like a T-Rex than a Raptor. To me, I wrote down that it's cartoonish and looks like a T-ball uniform to me. That's just what I thought.
I am with you, Matt, but it's funny because a lot of the young guys watching, they love it. And I think the same thing as you. It looks like a child's uniform. I don't know why it was popular, but it is now. The kids like it. Oh, yeah. But I agree with you. It made my honorable mention.
You'll see it made a list, but, Anyway. All right, so we're at 4, right? Yeah. 4. Yeah. My 4, and maybe you guys like this one, I don't know, was the Houston Rockets, Barkley year, 95, and with like a rocket.
I know what you mean. It had it was like bluish, like a steel blue. with stripes in the Rocket? I think I know
Yes,
which one you mean.
yes,
It wasn't
yes.
the red and yellow.
No, not even. No.
Right,
This
right,
was
yeah,
the one
this
that looked like it had a rocket on
yes.
it. Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Like I
which
said,
one
maybe
you're
somebody
talking about.
liked that one. I particularly
No, I
didn't like.
I didn't like it.
Again, I think with the whole Barkley thing there, maybe that's why they
Yeah.
went with it. But
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one.
Well, my number 3 is another alternate. It's the Wizards alternate from 06 to 09. So 3 years. It's a gold and black. And I like gold and black together, but this isn't working for me. It's got nothing. I don't know what they were doing in some of these years with these color schemes. With like they just jumped around color schemes with teams. Like the Wizards couldn't find their image when they changed from the Bullets
Plus,
to the
when
Wizards.
you show that, they went with a different bottom, which I think is
Yeah,
the other thing I don't like about it.
The black shorts
Yeah.
and a gold top. Oh, was
That
goldish.
almost looks like you're on a team that you have a reversible jersey.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, like
and
that
you're supposed to wear
Like an
that.
AAU team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to go white. We got to go whatever.
That's what I mean. It looks like that. Like,
Yeah,
how many teams do that? Like, not
It
many.
looks unprofessional.
Yeah.
Again, look, like you said, it looks like some AAU team, some dad in his garage decided this is what we're going to do. I don't know what we're doing with that, gang. I don't know which professionals are sitting in the room, but and 3 years they kept it. That's the thing that cracks me up is after a year you would have said, okay, enough of this.
So ironically, that's my number 3 as well. Actually, I'm going to call violation on myself. I have a tie.
Oh,
A
there you
tie between the shiny, satiny Wizards uniform that Matt just showed and this shiny, satiny Kings uniform from 05 to 07 that looked like, I read on someone put online, spoiled cream soda. Colored with purple and white sash stripes.
Oh, gee,
both of them, to me, the same sort of thing. They were just like, what's going on here?
Again, there's a team though. Example, they haven't won.
Yeah,
So
they gotta keep messing around with their uniforms.
Listen, the Kings are the brother that comes on the date. They're irrelevant. They're not supposed to even be there.
Some people are gonna watch and probably thinking, yeah, well, if the refs would have screwed them in 01 or whatever against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, I hear that all the time.
Maybe, but they're a generally irrelevant team who are searching for something for some people to buy their merchandise.
all right, so going to number 3. I'm on number 3. Yeah, we're on number 3.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons.
with the
tailpipes
with
the horse on it. So we don't need to keep going on. So there we go.
Well, and my 2 was the Kings one you just said.
Okay, sorry,
it was
my bad in a violation.
Yeah, well, I mean, you put them together, which is a violation, but it is a bad. I mean, it's my number 2 worst one.
You have a photo for the crowd?
It is. It's hard to see. They're grainy, but I mean, it's awful.
At least they have the same bottoms.
Yeah, but if you want to go gold, go different gold than that. That's like, I don't know what that is. They just, you see them all standing there, all 5 guys, and you think, man,
what are we doing wearing this?
Yeah, I feel bad for you. You're professional, and that doesn't look professional.
All right, so we're up to 2?
Yeah.
So my number 2 is I didn't even know this existed. I don't have a photo, and I wish I did. The Hawks from 70 to 72. Poor Pistol Pete Maravich had to wear this, and it was described this way: pistachio ice cream colored uniforms.
Yes.
They have obviously it's the shorty shorts with the thin straps or shoulder straps or whatever, and it has a weird stripe. If you look it up, Google it.
They actually retroed it.
Did they?
Yes.
It has like a weird stripe going up this side, black stripe going across the chest and up the other strap.
It was like they actually had it.
So weird.
And it looks better because it looks new.
Yeah, like they're more modernized.
Right, but I mean,
probably,
they retroed that.
But
I don't like it at all either. You'll see.
Who thought that was a good color for a uniform?
Yes, coming back.
I had no idea.
So I went back into, again, I didn't know this one existed either. 80 to 83, the Cleveland Cavaliers was a gold, and it was like almost kind of like that gold you've been sewing.
Yeah.
And it said Cleveland. It was very plain. It said Cleveland and had the number, but it was that kind of goldish looking old color. Not a good look.
Yeah, Cleveland made my honorable mentions, but not. So my number 1 is actually a team whose color combination I like a lot, and I mentioned before the gold and blue, which is nice. But the Warriors, they had this one uniform. Yeah. For some reason, they decided to go with sleeves, which is ridiculous in a basketball uniform. Yeah. And the top was a solid gold, and the bottom is pinstripe shorts.
They look like pajama bottoms.
Yeah, I mean, like here's Steph Curry wearing this monstrosity of a uniform. And they did that. I think there was a couple of teams that did that some year for things.
With the
nobody
sleeve, I know,
wears sleeves.
Yeah.
Sleeves have no business being on a basketball uniform ever. And then, to me, it's a complete violation, as you mentioned earlier, when the shorts and the shirt
look,
are not. They don't even look like the same color gold.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, who did this to these guys? Like, this is ridiculous looking. I just can't believe somebody in the room said, "Yeah, that's it. Let's go with that."
All right, so my number one is, you had this before. I don't know if it was your 4 or 5 or 3. I can't remember. The Mavs shiny copperish. They called it silver. I don't know who thought that was silver. It's copper. And I wrote down that color should never ever be used on any uniform, or even for T-ball or whatever, ever. Because it was just, I felt so bad when I saw the photo of Dirk. I didn't know they existed. I probably watched it, but like felt so bad for Dirk Nowitzki having to wear.
And it was shiny too. The shiny,
awful shiny.
Yeah.
Well, my number 1 was your number 2, the Atlanta Hawks, 1970-72, and I rooted it as either puke green or diarrhea green because it was really, it was not nice looking at all. Yeah, I think, like I said, they retroed it and did okay, but because I think probably back then, too, in the 70s, it was all polyester or whatever, so it even probably felt bad, let alone look bad. So
I did not find that on my in my research, so I'll have to look that one up. But my honorable mentions, we mentioned already the Raptors was on my honorable mention. The Jazz in 96, 97, and 03, 04, where they went to this purple monstrosity with them. I don't know, that the majority color purple doesn't seem to work too well. The Kings did it for a little while. Again, they're still finding their image there, but I didn't like that. The Cavs in 97 to 99 had this light blue and white and orange. Again, it didn't seem to work. They did it twice. And then my honorable mention, which really would have made probably my top 5, except that I'm a homer, is the jersey you're wearing. That Sixers right there is god awful. It's got no place. It's got no place in the pantheon of Sixers because, as you can see from my shirt, the Sixers are red, white, and blue, and this is black and red.
Why they do it? As Arbor said.
I mean, and I know the kids out there. My own son likes this. No way. It's my honorable mention of worst of all time, and it should have made the list. I just kept it off my top 5 because I'm a Sixers fan.
And that's so funny because that's the first one I listed for honorable mention, and same reason I couldn't put it in there because I was like, it would hurt. I think I saw somewhere online they called it Dazzle, and it does anything but dazzle as far as I'm concerned. And the one I was thinking was the black one. Yeah, like the black one. It's just either kind. I was like, this is god awful.
Yes.
I feel bad because it's the Sixers, but other ones that I have on mention, the Kings from 94 to 97 had literally jerseys that were split down the middle, half purple.
I almost put that on.
Half purple, half black, and on both sides it was
checkerboard.
Really weird. I found a Knicks uniform. I guess they just wore them on St. Patty's Day. They were green.
Yeah.
I'm like, you cannot put the Knicks in green.
Yeah, I kind of gave some of the teams a pass on the holiday uniforms because I kind of like that. And like the Christmas Day uniforms on a Christmas Day game, you get a little bit of a pass. It's like the Major League Baseball whenever they wear the pink or those kinds of things for certain things. Right. You get a little bit of a pass when it's a little awkward because you're trying to do something that shows a holiday. I gave them a pass on that. I did see that, and it is a violation because there's, the Knicks and the Boston Celtics are
right. That's what I was. That was one of the reasons. And then my last one is another Knicks jersey, a road one from 79 to 83, where someone came up with the bright idea of putting the number above New York. Yes. So it says New York on their belly 40 and 40 for like Bernard King or whoever on top. I'm like, that was weird.
I saw it too. Well, I'm not going to have much on both my honorable mentions were your Wizards gold and your Kings alternate. So yes, I don't have much to add for the
I will say I forgot one. I'm going to throw my Sixers under the bus again because 91-92 was not that. It was another one. It had the stars that swooshed up.
That was on some of the lists.
That's like, Witherspoon era. That was awful too. So that made again, I guess the love-hate relationship, I just can't see that, bear to see them messing things up, which they did. So there's the worst, but let's go to the best. And I guess
you start.
All right.
The best. These are the best now uniforms of all time. So let's get it right, NBA teams.
Yes. All right. So my 5th best jersey or uniform for the NBA all time is the Sonics from 85 to 95. They're away ones, the green ones with the white and the gold that have just say Sonics across.
I actually wore it way back with the Sean Kemp, I believe, when we did the dunk.
The dunk one, yeah. So go look up an old podcast we have and look for Jeff's jersey on that one. But yeah, that's my 5th best jersey of all.
Okay. My 5th best, I liked it, I think, because of the color scheme, but also the way the numbers looked on it, was the Minnesota Timberwolves from 96 to 2008, so Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
I like the black one better. It was a black jersey. It said Timberwolves. Not so. Someone said Wolves. This one literally said Timberwolves. Okay. And like I said, the numbers were really cool. I really liked. It was like a almost cool looking number. Yeah, on it. So yeah, that was my number 5.
So my number 5 is the Hawks Pac-Man red jersey. Again, the numbers got the. Yeah, Dominique Wilkins. It's from 82 to 92, so 10 years. And one of the things I think that makes a great uniform is some of those great quintessential players. So for this particular one, Dominique Wilkins, dunk contest, you can see it in those places. And the numbers have a nice little bit of a flair to them with the gold on it. So it's a really sharp looking and had just enough white. I'm not a huge fan of the white uniforms too much, but had just enough white to set it off. So I thought it was a real, nice looking uniform. And again, you think Dominique Wilkins, this is the uniform you think of.
Yeah, you think of him windmilling in the contest. So my number 4 best uniform, you guys are both going to laugh at this, is the Bullets uniform from 75 to 87. One of the ones you guys had in there.
I had it.
You had it. You had it.
Well, I think this is why these lists are great.
No, I like that uniform, Matt. I didn't mention it when we said 8, but I liked it. It almost made my list.
And so I just think, for me, I think it's also nostalgic. The Bullets don't exist. This is back in the day with Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes, because I'm older. And I just like the idea. I mean, it has like the road ones are like the bluish, more dark colors and have the white mixed in or whatever. But just had the stars and everything. And I actually like the two. Most of the hands in any kind of a uniform or a logo I don't like, but the way this, it's almost like the hands are grabbing a rebound or whatever. And as anybody knows me or whatever, I'm sort of, that's my part of the game is rebounding. So I like the Bullets uniform from
All right. Well, I'm going to go back to one of yours. I liked it because I get it because it's different. I like the Utah Jazz with the mountain and the purple and the
purple. Wow.
And you like the purple mountain majesties there, huh?
I don't know why. Man. I thought it was just. I think when I think of if you're going to buy a jersey, you're going to buy something that's different. You're going to keep it, whatever. So yeah, I like that '90s. Stockton Malone jersey.
I did not like those at all, obviously. But I did like, my number 4 is the Magic black pinstripe. Black with the white pinstripe. And again, Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah. That's who you think of. I think of him tearing down that whole entire, not just the backboard, but the whole thing. Although he broke it back. Yeah, the stanchion and the whole thing. Black, it's just slick. It's got the white pinstripe with a blue number on it. I think they're really, and that was, they were a brand new team at the time. They did, I thought they did a pretty good job with their uniforms there, with the really nice set off there.
I saw someone, we were researching online, and I saw someone say, why did they ever go away from that?
Yes.
Why did they ever go away from those? Because I think all, the blue, the black, and the white all had pinstripes, I think, and they were great.
Yeah, they were classic looking. Yeah. Pinstripe is a classic look, and it looked good. Yeah, Penny Hardaway too. I can't want to leave him out. Yep. That combination. So again, I think when you think of these classic uniforms, I think Shaquille O'Neal when he's on the Magic, you know exactly what you're talking. You know exactly what the uniform is. Boom. Yep. Boom. Comes right in your head.
Yep. All right. So where am I at? I'm number 3. So I actually have a violation again. A tie for 3 again. I think it was 3 on the last time. 3. So they're both Lakers uniforms. So the one is the Showtime gold that everybody knows with that. They picture Magic or Jingsworthy or Kareem or whatever. But the other ones are the 02 to 18 alternate whites. You think of Kobe on a Sunday. They call them their Sunday uniforms when they were on NBC or I think it was ABC then for Sunday games or whatever. They had the alternate whites or whatever. So those are my number 3.
Okay.
So.
I think when I'm looking at my list, I'm like, you guys, I miss more of the flashy or whatever because I went with the Toronto Raptors purple with the Raptor on it. is my number 3, and I guess because of the whole Vince Carter, like you just mentioned, your son, my sons, they're totally, you know, if they're going to buy retro, they're going to go buy the Vince Carter Raptors jersey. So, you know.
Well, what's interesting is for our sons, that's retro. For us,
that's not.
Well, it's not
the
retro.
Bullets is retro,
Right.
And I look at that as retro. I look at some of the New York Knicks and stuff, which didn't make my list, even though I like Patrick Ewing as retro. I don't think of that as retro.
No,
I think of that as Chizo.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
But that's what's great about this.
Yeah. But one of the ones that is sort of retro, as we climb up my list, we get more retro. The 3, which is a little bit retro, is the Bulls 73 to 85 cursive Chicago. It's
Chicago.
just it's the script. It's just when Jordan got into the league, and I like that script, the cursive, and they. Occasionally they'll bring that out as a throwback.
You can see him with Jordan.
Yeah. He's got the gold chains. He's got the Jordan ones on. That's the jersey in one of those first dunk contests, and then they move away to the block print. But I like the cursive. It's classic red with the black with a little bit of white trim. Chicago in the cursive. I like that. It's one of the few places I like cursive.
So I think of not only MJ because I'm older. I think of like Artis Gilmore. When I see those youth, I think of Artis Gilmore. But that's
they stuck with him for a long time. 73 to 85.
So what are we here? We're on
3. Oh, you'll be
I'm
on
2.
2.
I'm on 2. So actually, my 2 is the Bulls uniform from 85 to current, the Road Reds with the black Bulls and the numbers. To me, that's just like a classic look. And I think as we've been discussing, you think of MJ, you think of Scottie Pippen, like you just think of that when I see that. And to me, like you were talking, like yours is like more creative. You like I'm like the traditional, obviously, and most of it in life in general, but with this as well. The Bulls uniform, they're the red ones, the red road uniform.
Okay. My number 2 was back to your, on your logos, was the old school Denver Nuggets with the rainbow multicolor skyline. There was a Dikembe Mutombo picture I saw with him wearing that multicolored. But again, that was 12 years or whatever.
What years was that?
82 to 93.
Yeah, because I think of Fat. You probably know.
Fat Lever.
Fat Lever. Yeah, you do.
I remember Fat Lever. Yeah.
Fat Lever.
Well, it's interesting because that logo with the rainbow. About 5 years ago, I probably would have hated it, but right now it's got that retro kind of cool, neat look. It didn't make my top 5, but my number 2. This is one you kids might not know out there because it's going back 74 to 77. Portland Trailblazers. Bill Walton, that's the guy in this. It's red, and it just says Blazers starting from the top down. I do have a picture. It's kind of grainy, not great to see, but it's red, classic look. It's even got the Adidas on the shoulder. It's an Adidas jersey, so that's kind of cool, and I love that. And this is Bill Walton with a shaggy goatee and shaggy red hair, and it's just a classic. It's got white panels down the side.
Headband.
And I just think it's a neat-looking retro kind of throwback to the Blazers. And again, starting at the top left, it says down, Blazers, not across, which is neat. It's a different look. You don't see, usually they go across the chest instead of top to bottom.
Yep. I like that. I like those two. So I'm up number 1. So my number 1, if you call me a homer or whatever, is the current Sixers blue jerseys with the Phila across it, which is why I wore this. That to me, and it has like the some of the white down the sides or whatever. I like that color in general, and to me that's just classic. Like this just says Phila. It doesn't have Sixers. It doesn't have whatever. It just to me that it fits the team and the city, and I like those colors. So.
And it is a throwback.
Yeah.
Because it's a throwback with a little modern twist. Exactly.
I was gonna say, I think the theme here between you guys think of, but you guys think of players,
right?
I was just really going with the jersey, because my number 1 was I just liked the jersey and the team stunk. And I like the Vancouver Grizzlies jersey. Like the logo that you showed, I didn't really maybe like that logo, but like the jersey, I kind of like the teal and the different. I don't know. I really liked it. I called it like this cool.
So back when they were Vancouver,
Vancouver Grizzly 95 all the way to 2000. So 5
If you're going to go teal, I think you'd have to go Hornets over the Grizzlies.
Well, it was a different teal.
It's different teal, but that's a little. But I think that the general sentiment that's different here, Jeff, is that you like the pop of color in your jerseys, whereas I think Matt and I were a little bit more traditional with the blues and the reds and the blacks and the whites, that kind of thing. So my number one was 1972 to 1981 Nets. Dr. J. This is Dr. J with a goatee and a pretty big afro. It's red, white, and blue, says Nets across it. It's got stars down the side. It is just, to me, retro awesomeness. You know, the red, white, and blue, it's just classic. And it goes all the way down. And one of the things we talked about in the bad-looking uniforms is they didn't match. This starts at the, at the arm and goes down the red, white, and blue, and it goes right into the shorts, so it looks like one piece. And it's just a classic look. And some of you kids are probably saying Dr. J played for the Nets. Yes, he did. And early in his career, and I just think it's an awesome look.
All right, so we're gonna do honorable mentions.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So a few honorable mentions I have the Lakers from the '60s, the baby blue with the Los Angeles script. The Knicks, the classic blue Knicks from '68 to '79, and then '83 to '97. I don't know what happened in the middle there. Maybe those crazy uniforms I had in my worst thing. So the classic blue away uniforms. The Celtics, classic green away uniforms. As much as I hate the Celtics, those are just tradition and whatever. And then I actually like the Pacers uniforms from the '90s when Reggie Miller was there. The '90s
like
with
the
pinstripe
with the blue.
Oh, you like
no, this is
just
the
blue.
Oh, just blue, no pinstripe.
Blue with the white and yellow. And actually, from when I looked online, I swear they said that FloJo, Florence Griffith Joyner, or whatever, she had some input on those jerseys or whatever. So I remember when I looked and I saw Reggie Miller in the picture, I was like, yeah, I like those.
Well, so when I went with my top five, I went with the flashy. All my honorable mentions were all the classics, because I put the Lakers baby blues from 1960s. I put the Chicago Bulls script one as in the 80s, Atlanta Hawks, as you mentioned, and the Nets ones, the Spurs one. Yeah. They were all my honorable mentions, so that's where I had them. I just didn't have them on my top.
Well, my honorable mentions, I mean, the Sixers, the Celtics, the Lakers, all kind of traditional jerseys that I all like. The one that's kind of an outlier there that I do like, that is really has nothing to do with their colors, but it's a little retro in a different way, is the Miami Vice colors. And I know, right? The
boys,
but the black ones, the ones that are black with the they have the Miami Vice.
For whatever pink, you like with the pink trim,
with a little bit of pink, and a little bit of blue, because again, I guess part of that goes back to the '80s, which is retro enough for me from when I was a kid. That I kind of like that, even though it really has nothing to do with their colors whatsoever. I still kind of like that. 2017 to present, so they've been around longer than I thought.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Well, going back to, I thought, I wore this jersey because I knew my brother didn't like it. So, not that it was on my list, as you noticed, it was not on my list.
I say it didn't make either one of my list. So there you go. Yeah. All right, gang. Well, there you have it. If you're looking for fashion advice, we're not the guys to go to, but we gave it to you. All-time best and worst NBA uniforms. So Google them if you don't know what they look like. Check them out. And you have been listening to and watching the Two Matts and a Jeff podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and follow our YouTube channel. You can listen on Anchor or wherever you get your podcast. We'll see you next time.